Beverly McIntosh dreamed of a peaceful retirement, but it hasn't turned out exactly the way she imagined. Beverly is raising her 2 grandchildren. You're a grandmother. You're of a certain age. You've retired now, and you've taken on this responsibility of looking after your son's children. Where's your son? Why isn't he doing this?
My son, I don't know where he lives right now. He was in Hamilton. I haven't seen him for 3 years. The mother I haven't seen for 2 years. The mother has major issues with drinking, alcohol, drugs.
Do we throw garbage around on the ground?
No.
6-year-old Austin and 9-year-old Rosina. They are frantic, chaotic,
Do you want a timeout when we get home?
unruly. Beverly is run off her feet.
Austin, come on.
It would have been easy, or perhaps not, to walk away from this and let someone else raise these children. But you've decided to do it.
Yes.
Why?
I love them. They're my kids. To me, I feel I can give them more love than in a home. A foster parent would not put up with the behavior problems I have. They'd be tossed from one foster home to another foster home, ending up in a group home.
2 children abandoned by their parents. 2 children damaged by the effects of fetal alcohol syndrome. Rosina struggles to learn.
It doesn't matter if you don't spell it right. We'll work on the ones you can't spell.
Austin struggles with bursts of rage.
This is Austin's room. His door, the bottom half is totally missing now. He started by just kicking it in and then started pulling pieces off. I clean it up, and the next night I come in the morning, it's the same.
Are you afraid of your grandson?
Yes, I am. I am afraid when he gets in one of these moods, he doesn't know what he's doing, and he can get very violent.
I want you to be really good for a little bit.
So, at 60, Beverly's golden years have turned into endless days of juggling homework and temper tantrums
Yes, you are.
and struggling to get by on a tiny pension. Beverly, are you able to make ends meet with all these responsibilities?
No, I can't. That's why I took a line of credit on my house, because I cannot pay all my bills every month.
It is our shameful secret. Today, grandparents are raising more than 65,000 grandchildren in Canada. That grandparent is usually a grandmother, and that grandchild usually suffers from a host of problems, having survived everything from sexual abuse to fetal alcohol syndrome to attention deficit disorder. And most of the time, the grandmother is raising the children on a small pension below the poverty line. And the hardest part of all, they're doing it alone.
When I turn 80, I certainly will not be able to do anything for them. I know that. And I am worried. I would like them to be able to at least have a job, have a place to live.
Paul Muldoon can relate. He produced a study on the financial pressures of raising grandchildren. He says Beverly and others like her have good reason to worry.
These grandparents are saving us as taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars, both presently and into the future in terms of social costs. And they're doing that out of a sense of commitment. They're doing that out of a sense of love. And we need to be there for them and to help and support them.
Right now, that help just isn't there. The average income for a grandparent raising grandchildren is less than $15,000 a year. And those grandparents get little or no government help for work that isn't understood or appreciated.
In the future, who's to know the value of children who've been nurtured? Who's to know the value of kids, these are kids that might end up in the prison system someday otherwise. But these grandparents are not going to let that happen. These grandparents are saving these children.
Saving grandchildren is Betty Cornelius's life work.
Think Tori will have fun at the school dance?
It began with her granddaughter, Ashley. From her cottage in Bancroft, Ontario, this grandma organized a network with a special purpose. Grandmothers gather at Betty's cottage in the woods to share a meal, but more importantly, to share experiences. They call themselves CanGrands.
We give support, education, and empowerment to grandparents that are raising grandchildren, to kinship families. And really what it is a lot of hand-holding, a lot of listening. It's a hard job. It's a club nobody wanted to join.
But they do join, and the numbers keep growing. There are nearly 600 CanGrands members, bound together by tragic tales of the grandchildren they've saved.
When he first came, he tried kicking and punching his grandfather, punched him in the face to see what would happen. That didn't go well.
And the ones they've lost.
I got a phone call from my son's ex-girlfriend saying that my grandson was dead. Oh my. The police came in and investigated. They found my grandson in a closet. Been there for 5 days. There were never any charges laid against the baby. Was so deteriorated. They couldn't determine actual cause of death.
Stories of children caught up in the struggle to survive. Children reaching out with hope.
Nanny's a very good nanny.
You have the best Nana in the world.
And of course, we're going to get adopted.
You're going to get adopted?
Yeah.
Nanny, and you are going to be...
Yes.
What does that mean?
It means if I wasn't adopted, my mom and dad could take me.
Would that worry you?
Yes, because they don't really take care of children very good.
Happy birthday.
So the grandmas step in to do the job. But here's the twist. They'd get more help if they were taking care of a complete stranger, foster children. But take care of your own grandchild, and they call it welfare.
I'm a foster parent. I'm a registered foster family. It's $1,700 a month on an average for my foster baby, but I get $226 for my grandchild. Same government, but different department. And so I call that discrimination, and it feels like punishment for our kinship families.
Betty Cornelius is hoping it will all change someday. So she fights on, using CanGrands to bring a little help and a little relief to grandparents. Lake Simcoe, Ontario, and summer camp. Like all camps, kids play, but this is a camp with a difference. At this camp, grandmas go to school, networking with experts, searching for ways to make their homes a little happier, their lives a little easier.
You need to get some help for these children because the school system isn't going to help you.
But it's not all talk about funds and lobbying the government. CanGrands Camp is a brief refuge from isolation, poverty, and a sense of shame surprisingly common for grandparents raising their children's children.
It's like a dirty little secret. 90% of us have our grandchildren because of drugs and alcohol. So, oh, your son is doing drugs and alcohol, so you must have done something wrong.
It's a stereotype Paul Muldoon says just isn't right.
There is an old theory out there that says, we have to be careful with these grandparents because, quote, the apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. And in my work with these people, I came to the conclusion that that simply wasn't relevant at all or true.
But this much is true. The joys and pains of the thousands of grandparents doing this important job in Canada is going mostly unnoticed.
Beverly, if government officials are watching this story and they're listening to you speak, what message do you have for them right now?
We need more funds. The grandparents that are raising these children, they all have issues. They all need help. We don't have the resources that young parents have.
Next, challenging governments on both sides of the border. What will it take for these special families to be given the support they need?
It's hard.
When CTV's W5 continues. In just a moment, journey to the South Bronx, where grandparents raising grandchildren have found a safe haven. We'll be right back.